Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
How are you doing?
More or less.
And you?
Basically, not bad.
Are you sick? Do you have a fever?
No. A little sore throat.
Sore throat? Was there a doctor?
Yes.
Medication?
There is.
I see. Please introduce yourself.
Lebedev Nikita Vladimirovich.
Date of birth?
The 1st of November of the year 2000.
Place of birth?
Lugansk.
Lugansk. And you?
Donchenko Vitaly Viktorovich, July 17, 79. Lugansk region, the city of Sverdlovsk.
Sverdlovsk. Do you voluntarily consent to the recording and publication?
Yes.
If you don't want to, you don't have to say anything.
Yes.
I give.
Do they know that you are a prisoner?
I think they don't know.
Why do you need this video?
I don't need.
Then let's not even start. Do you understand why you need this video?
To be seen from the other side.
And?
To know that he is alive.
To be exchanged.
Correctly. If you don't need this recording, we'll cut it out.
No.
Do you agree?
I agree.
You understand why you need it. Where did you study?
I went to school in the village, and then received a secondary special education.
Which one?
Special.
Which one?
Gas electric welder.
When were you mobilized?
Before that, I had 2 interrupted contracts. I ran away, to say the least.
You ran away, didn't you?
Yes.
Were you hiding?
First, and then anyway.
You take the pill, and we'll talk to you in the meantime.
I have a specialized secondary education, Sverdlovsk Vocational School number 72. My specialty is electric and gas welder. As for military service, for me, it all started with the announcement of a special operation. Before that, I was a civilian.
What were you working as?
I worked as a welder. I worked in Moscow, and in the winter I would come home and be with my family. And in the spring, I was off to work again.
Because there were no jobs in your town?
There are jobs in town, but they are low paying.
Until when did you work that way?
Somewhere around the middle of the year 15. It so happened that the firm where I worked did not pay me, and I left Moscow with nothing. My relatives even sent me money for the return trip. So I went back to Lugansk again. When I returned to Lugansk, the war had already started here, and I had to go back through Izarina. There was no work at all. And an acquaintance, a childhood friend of mine, suggested that I go to a unit that was in the rear, which was located in the city. It was an engineering sapper company. They were engaged in mine clearance after hostilities. There is a nearby bank of the Seversky Donets River, and it was heavily mined. In principle, the river bank is still mined by 70%. The bank of the Donets is especially heavily mined where power lines and other infrastructure lines, for example, a water utility, pass. Our sappers were engaged in helping electricians and employees of the city water utility. We helped them work along those lines, along the water utility line. Many times there was this. Local employees of the Ministry of Emergency Situations simply refused to go to the minefields, and then they called us.
And you did?
Yes, we were walking in front, the electricians were following us, or they were driving a car with a tower to a support, to a pole. That's how I served there for a year, after which there was a change of command in our company. Unpleasant movements began to occur, and I, taking advantage of the fact that my contract had ended, left there.
You started fighting from the beginning of the special operation, right?
Here, as always, I arrived in November, on New Year's Day, to see my family.
It's clear. From the 24th February of this year until.
From the 26th of February.
It doesn't matter. 2 days don't matter in the span of 11 months.
Yes.
How did you get captured?
Let's just say that we were captured very stupidly. We were told that our positions were there. They needed to be closed. We were given this one person to escort us, and his connection was also very bad. Everything was lame, everything was missing. We didn't have any more escorts.
Was he an escort?
Yes. He was the guide alone, in charge of cover and communications.
You were taken prisoner because you didn't know where you were going. And they were already waiting for you there.
Yes, that's right.
Someone confirmed that these were your troops' positions, and it turned out they weren't.
Well, yes, that's the way it happened.
He said he got the bruise because of you. Interested to find out what you did?
He himself is to blame, as well as me, so.
You have a bruise for what?
Because I was there.
Why didn't he get it?
I no longer have.
I don't know.
It wasn't much.
It couldn't have disappeared that quickly.
My bruise has gone down a little.
Did you get a bruise on the case or not? We won't cut it. Guilty?
Well, it's a war, what can I say? I can only say that, in my opinion, we were treated very well.
How could it be otherwise?
The options could have been the worst, and I'd hate to voice them, so.
Could have killed.
Yes, absolutely right.
So why be afraid? We have a channel at YouTube, we don't care.
Therefore, bruises on the face, I think, do not matter at all.
It's just that you two have bright bruises, but the Special Forces soldier does not. Young and athletic, so it heals quickly. When did you start fighting?
I signed my first contract in the year 2019.
So you're experienced.
At the time, I was in the rear and listed as a dead soul. That is, I had to be there at the inspection when someone came. And then he went about his business.
You didn't serve, you were only registered. You got a paycheck and gave half of it back. Right?
Yes.
How long have you served so valiantly?
The first time was 3 months.
Liked?
No, I ran away, and then they fired me.
And why is that? The money is paid.
I started to be pulled all the time, and I didn't like it.
The second time?
The second time is pretty much the same, only a little longer.
Half your salary, and you do your own thing?
Approximately.
What was your salary?
15,000 at the time.
So you got 7,000?
Well, yes, half.
And the third time?
The third time I ran away just before the special operation.
Ran away?
Well, yes, I had problems. I decided to end it all and wanted to leave.
Were you able to escape?
No, I received a summons, and I came back with this summons. What was I supposed to do?
You came to the military enlistment office.
No, not to the enlistment office, but to the unit where I served. I hadn't been discharged yet. I gave the summons, and then we were on duty, and then we were already doing mine clearance, as Vitaly said.
Did you serve in the same unit and know each other?
Yes.
Did you fight together?
Before we got caught, yes, but before that.
You've seen each other a couple of times.
No, we saw each other regularly in the unit.
And you were captured with him.
Yes.
How is the war?
Horror.
Scary.
Terrible thing. It's very scary. Especially when you look at mountains of corpses.
Mountains?
Yes.
Many, very many.
And approximately, who wins? Us or you?
No, you can't say that.
Well, what I've seen, in my opinion, ours are losing.
Are ours winning?
No. Ours are being beaten. I only saw our corpses. A lot of our bodies.
Yours and the Russians?
Ours, and they're Russians or non-Russians.
What, whole mountains?
Not mountains, there were a lot of people lying along the road, a lot on the landings.
We were in combat positions 5 days before we were captured.
Is it unrealistic to survive on the front lines?
We were not at the forefront.
You survived because you were behind the lines.
Yes, right.
Well, if the home front has already been thrown to the front lines, that's too bad. Can I say that or not?
You can also think and say that sometimes.
That is, if they already take the rear workers, who can neither shoot nor fight.
Our platoon was engaged in the disposal of found ammunition, demining in conjunction with the district maintenance service and the water supply company.
But not the trenches.
No, we didn't sit in the trenches.
You had to give it a try.
I didn't want to at all. There are people there, too.
What did they say in general? When will the war end and how?
I'll tell you this, everybody talks differently.
What?
Some say it will end this year, others say it will end next year.
Will you hold out?
We are definitely not enough. Unless they bring in reinforcements from there. We certainly won't be enough.
How is the relationship between you and the Russians?
I have encountered that mostly Russians are our bosses.
This is clear.
Yes.
You are cattle to them.
If they said you have to go there, you go. You can't say you can't do something.
You wanted to say something, you grinned.
Because of that phrase, that we are like cattle.
I can say, from what I have seen, everyone is not happy with this situation. Basically, like me. In those 5 days, I've seen a lot of people die. And in principle, for what? For some unfortunate 2 or 3 landings to sprinkle everything with corpses. Of course, I'm not a general, I'm just a minor, dust and shadow, but I, for example, would not throw a company of soldiers into the same landing every day to kill guys there with mortars. And you go there at night and see all these dead bodies. In the daytime those guys were still alive, but at night you see only corpses instead of living people. And the next day, they put the guys back in there, because they have to hold on to the place, which, in principle, no one wants in the hell.
How many?
I'm not a strategist, but... How many were there? We went in at night, we didn't see much, but between 20 and 30 people.
Is it every day? There's probably a corpse on top of a corpse, and the trenches are gone.
There is an evacuation team that takes the dead from the battlefield, from the trenches and stacks the corpses along the road, as Nikita said. And then they are picked up from the road. That is, they don't lie there all the time, but guys die all the time. There you go, the same situation happened to us. The tactic chosen for this was very stupid.
That you were sent in threes?
There were not 3, but 6 people in our group, we just stretched out in a chain, and therefore the people who took us prisoner simply did not see the back. and they were able to escape.
And they left you?
Whether they abandoned us or not. They wouldn't have done anything anyway, because I had guys like him there, 19, 20 years old. And they wouldn't even shoot anyway, I mean.
Didn't shoot?
They wouldn't have been smart enough. They wouldn't have fired.
Because they weren't taught.
Because he would have pulled the trigger and become a corpse, that's all.
Were you taken prisoner by anyone serious? Or just regular military men?
The fact is that they acted very competently. First, they were wearing our uniforms.
Yes, right.
Yes?
They were wearing our uniforms and our bulletproof vests, so when we approached, at first I even thought they were ours. By the way, it often happens with us that groups get mixed up and bump into each other, and then after a lot of investigation it turns out that both sides are ours. That is, when the three of us, me, Vitya and Nikita, approached them, judging by their appearance, I was still holding out hope that it was once again our own confused with the strangers.
And the bandages?
There were no bandages, and neither did we, in principle.
They were waiting for you.
They were just waiting for us.
They were also dressed like you. They're good.
The guys did everything very competently and beautifully, there's no question about it. Well done. But here's a question for our command, why did they show us this place on the map and say that our guys were sitting here, while your guys freely approached there? This information was given an hour before the release, not a week, not 2 weeks, but an hour before the release. How can you send people away like that? At least warn them, guys, look, this might be a gray area. I agree, if it's a gray area, then it could be either yours or ours, and we would be careful, watch closely. But even that wasn't said that this is a gray zone, and we were clearly told that these are our positions.
You come in and you see soldiers.
In our uniforms, right.
I can tell you that the guys who were standing there waiting for you are no slackers.
Their drone was flying over us.
They saw you.
They followed us and made everything very cool.
Are there many of yours left?
There are 3 of my group.
I mean regiment, platoon.
I don't have that information. We were told we were coming here today. They gave us a human guide. In this case it was Vitya.
I get it.
We met with him.
But he failed?
As it turned out, he had to find out the way, go through it himself, and it turns out that he let us down and let himself down.
Vitya is a good guy.
Here, and that's why I can't say anything about the number of units, how many are there or who. They give us a guide, they show us on the map, you go to that place.
Is the Russian world a good thing?
Well, it's different for everyone.
For you?
Well, not so much. Nice.
And for you?
Not so much lately, either.
What did the neighbors say, in general, what do the locals say? You were in Lugansk.
Well, in Lugansk we.
What kind of moods do people have? All this has been going on for almost a year now.
Just the kinds of moods.
Tense moods, so to speak. We didn't have much contact with people. We went home to wash and change and to clean clothes. We didn't stay home for long. Well, the general tension is felt.
Yes.
Who do people think will win?
No one.
Nobody says anything.
Already no one knows what, how or when it will end.
Were many men mobilized?
Yes, a lot. Especially from enterprises, from mines. Half was returned, half has not been returned so far.
What do you mean returned?
Before the mobilization there was a training camp, and the men went out for a certain period of time. I don't know exactly, because I didn't work there, I just heard. And immediately from this training camp, as soon as the special operation began, they were sent to the front lines.
Families complained. Some were brought back, some were not brought back to the mines. I even heard stories, I don't know if it's true or not, that some of the wounded mobilized people were fired from their jobs at the mines.
Fired because you can't work.
I don't know if it's true, I didn't work there.
Are there any jobs in Lugansk?
Yes, there is, but what kind? Only low-paying.
There are jobs, but the prices are now insane. And the salary that was, it no longer corresponds at all. In other words, it turns out that only the military have salaries in Lugansk now, and that's it.
Who?
Only the military.
Is there a lot of military in the city?
So many. There are valiant heroes in the rear, but there are no people on the front lines. That's why everyone on the front lines is outraged. When you come to the city, there are a lot of military men, you come there, but they are not there. Well, I can say, to appeal to my guys, first of all, to those who think that war is a livelihood. It's not a livelihood, it's a death.
Exactly.
It's death, and going there for money is very stupid and pointless. If someone is going to war to make a lot of money, he's just a fool. A common fool.
War is money for those who make it. And those who run around with machine guns are
dead people.
Dead men.
Dead men.
Well, that's the way the conversation turned out, as it were.
In 5 days, of course, we saw as much as we saw in the whole year.
Can you survive there?
I think not.
And if from the first days?
I think not.
No, definitely not.
We're lucky to be there recently. We were just lucky that we were taken prisoner and not shot there.